Hello, Speed Gaming, and welcome to the first game of Speed Gaming Live 2020. I am Dark Mooney X, joined in the booth by Danny3883, and we are bringing you the opening match of Speed Gaming Live 2020, Final Fantasy Randomizer, GregglyPuff versus Aelmarkin. Danny, are you getting hyped over there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm running on pure enthusiasm this morning because it sure wasn't a lot of sleep. But I'm really excited. This is awesome that we get to be the opening match for SG Live, and there's been a lot of work and just prep that's gone into this, and I think everybody's really, really excited for this week. So it's early, but I'm happy to be here.
Yep. I know they're working behind the scenes to make sure that the layout switches over as soon as the race gets started. First match, the jitters. Just bear with us as things get ironed out here. But woo, I am really stoked for all of this. This is going to be a good one. So, hey, there we go. Woo, switch over.
There. Good job, everybody.
We can see their faces.
High five, teams.
As I commented to them in the race room while the thing was loading, I loaded up Ailstream and thought I was looking at Greggly. If not for the glasses, it would be spot on.
I mean, I see the resemblance. Just a little.
So, if you've been watching through the qualifiers, then you have an idea of the basics of how this is going to work. The flags have changed up a little, and we're going to go over everything that's different as we go along. But it's still going to be a largely no-loose, quick seed through all of Final Fantasy. So you're going to be seeing a fairly standard, fairly linear kind of game. We're not looking at entrance and floor shuffle. We're not looking at having all the items loose or anything. Most of the stuff is going to be at incentivized locations. Most of the stuff is going to be the standard incentives that you're looking for. And it's going to be pretty normal for you if you've been paying attention to things. There are some interesting ones, some of them that Danny and I are going to enjoy the heck out of. I think the best change that we've done over qualifiers is, the blurst items are blessed and cursed weapons and armor that really do help to put a new spin on the game. Danny?
The fun thing about them is you just never know what you're gonna get. You could get a seed with really, really great, weapons and armor, or these guys might just be really glad they got a black belt because they found nothing to swing, and what they do find isn't great. So
that black belt is going to be nice. Now, if they have problems finding a good grind tile, or if there's enemies out there that are kind of brutal, having a low blurst on the Mazda, if they ever find it, could be kind of sucky. Got Dark, got Temper, Life, Cure 4. Ooh, that's lovely. And Ice 2 and Bane. Wow, this is a really kind mix of stuff.
It is, and because we mentioned party, we should also mention that while not required in the stage of the tournament that we are in now in pods, they did party draft. Ale went first, and he picked a red mage. Greg followed with the black belt black mage, and Ale followed up and finished our party out with another black mage.
He did. Now, there's TNT for sale at the shops there, which is good. You're going to see them checking some chests right now. That is because while we don't technically have anything loose, we do actually have something loose. The canal is floating around in a chest somewhere and is not necessarily incentivized. So they're going to be checking for a bit until they find the canal, and then they'll probably abandon checking chests altogether. This early in the game, that's not really a hardship because you're going to want to find gear and money, and, gear to sell for money. And Greggly takes a bat to his black belt and falls down.
Yeah, that's the one good thing about this party. Basically, other than, say, a ribbon, all gear you're gonna want on those mages, and that's, gold bracelets, pro rings, and you can buy those. So, like you said, once you find, the canal and you have, you're fine with the amount of money you have and things like that going forward in the game, you really can just stop checking every chest in the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, two things. Aelmarkin beats Garland first, clearly has an unbeatable lead. And also, Aelmarkin is now the hero of the people because while Greggly got the loot from Sarah, and they both got the slab from the king, Ael got the double bass from Sarah because he has multi-instrumentalist Sarah turned on and is our favorite person ever now.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. As far as I'm concerned, he just won the entire game.
Yeah.
And it's forever my favorite.
Put him through the brackets. That man is our champion.
Right? Although I find it a little funny that our bass player missed out, because words are hard this early in the morning.
They are.
Missed out on the double bass.
So pirates give us the Oxyale as soon as we find Onrak, which is going to be at Onrak because channels aren't shuffled. We can go in and take care of Sea Shrine. That is one of the few super required key items that are absolutely necessary for progression in the game. The more of those that we can crank out early, the faster this Black Belt seed is going to go. We got Fast and Brack at level 2 Black. In Biz 2...
Heal 3.
Heal 3? I mean, okay, they only have one Red Mage, but this is a fantastic Red Mage seed.
Yeah, not to mention... They took a Black Belt and they already have Fast and Temper at level 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's going to be punching all the things very hard later on in this game.
The punchiest of seeds. And the funny thing is, okay, so bosses are scaled, like, I think 50 to 200%, but their health is, like, weirdly clamped between 100 and 150. Those super punchy, fast temper Black Belts, they're going to be doing some serious and quick sashimi work against the bosses we're fighting. Dang goes and checks the armor. Greggly goes and checks the armor. Wow. You're right, it's hard to talk this
morning. Words and names are heard this early in the morning. It's fine.
So we did see Ael do the weird play of a quick pop grind. Didn't last for very long, but he checked it, and that's... I don't know about you, Danny, but for me, I don't tend to see that with the way that the meta of the game works at this point anymore. It's not a standard move.
I think I can count, definitely on less than one hand, probably only 2, maybe 3 times I've ever done one, and that's when, like, a key item is the vendor, and it holds progression super early, and I can't find money anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, I will literally go to Marsh Cave to try and dig out the treasures from there before I'll do a pop grind. Ooh, imps have gaze. I mean, it's already starting to, like, not be a factor with the MDef that we're building, but that's still not fun to see.
And I was double checking with the flags. And it's, like, Marsh, not incentivized, but it's, unless we find, like, the canal, like you said, somewhere floating in a box, the Matoya or Dwarf Cave, which is only 4, so it's possible. But, you know, the numbers are that it's likely in Marsh. So even without Marsh being incentivized, there is a good chance we're headed there anyway.
Yeah.
So, looking for money, there's definitely boxes there that you'll be opening for it.
With that cheap TNT, there's a good chance the canal is going to come off of that. But again, canal isn't incentivized, so it's just as likely not. But this is the reason why you're going to see them checking Matoya early, even though we don't have the crystal. Even if we didn't have the TNT, we more than likely would have seen them go over to Dwarf. With Marsh not being incentivized, no one wants to go there if they don't have to, and they are just desperately praying the canal is going to come up from essentially the 2 boxes and 3 turn-ins we have left. Or 2 boxes and 1 turn-in we have left, I should say.
Well, it wasn't one of those Dwarf boxes.
Did you need an Iron Stick +2, though? We got an Iron Stick +2. It's a chime! Hey, we can go to Sky Palace when we get that canal.
Well, I think we know where we're headed.
Oh, good times.
Uncentivized Marsh feels just great.
What a way to open up Speed Gaming Live.
It's like, we're not going to click the box and force you to go there, but you're probably going there anyway.
Yeah, you're going there. Oh, you're going there. And you won't even have any guidance as to where to go there. Go check top first.
It's like don't look at the flags and get excited because it's not incentivized, because you're probably going there.
I mean, honestly, at this point, all the Agamas and everything, not Agamas, the Stay Hags that they're fighting and everything else right now makes sense because any level you can get before going into Marsh is necessary.
Yeah, especially because they don't exactly have the best magic going in the Marsh unless like there's something at 3 and 4 and they have the levels for it beforehand. However, they don't really have that, so.
Plus, if Greggly and Ale are paying attention, they will know that you and I are in the commentary booth, and when we are in the commentary booth, spiders tend to have really nasty things. So, and they're all over this Marsh game.
True.
So, yeah.
But today, I didn't roll it. So,
that is good.
Maybe they'll get lucky and they won't have anything back.
We got a question in chat asking what makes Marsh so bad. If you've played the vanilla game, you know that Marsh just on its own was kind of a wretched place to be. There was a lot of things that had stun touch, and I think stone touch started coming into play during that, things with nasty skills. Now, that's not all the case because we have touch effects and skills and everything else shuffled here. But the big issue with Marsh is that for the area or the part of the game that it shows up in, it's lengthy, and you gotta dive in, and then you have to walk back out because there's no quick teleporter out. And there's just a wide diversity of enemies, all of which could have some nasty skill or spell shuffled onto it, meaning you could be in for some really nasty surprises here with just the diversity of enemies that are available. Did notice also, by the way, that I have been paying attention, Nuke, Warp, and Lock 2 are at Elfland, all of which Ale walked past. Not sure if he had the levels to cast it, but considering the fact, I was going to say, considering the fact that you have to walk out of here, that warp could have been nice.
Yeah, I don't think he did. Oh boy, Marsh is being unkind this morning. But it was definitely all 3 things that are really great that you're going to want to see, especially early, especially that nuke, because we haven't had a super great AoE yet, and warp, because it's going to get you out of places like Marsh faster. And Lock 2, so now we've got Fast Temper and Lock 2. We're going to be able to hit them hard and make them weak to make them fall down faster. So, magic is working out really well for those black belts. Look at
there it is! Quick! Bail! Bail, Ale! Bail! No, that's the wrong way. That's... Okay.
I mean... Okay, well this isn't the worst. Yeah.
Well, we say that and then they probably have
okay,
like...
maybe we should just... let's just wait and see if he gets past it. Make sure they don't have anything.
Let's not curse him.
Okay. He got 947 gold for his trouble.
You know, if he wipes at this point, not leaving Marsh, this is not on us, okay?
I mean, true. But other than, like, some money in... God bless that heal 3. Who needs heals this early right now when you got heal 3? But they did find in the box beside the canal...
Oh, thunder!
But they did find... Yeah,
that was
I don't think we saw it from them earlier. Something in that pack was turning people, I think, to stone earlier, but I don't recall seeing thunder. Oh boy. But, as I was saying, in the box beside the canal, there was 11,000 some gold, which is going to be great early game. They've also found a decent chunk of fighter gear. We saw an opal helmet. I want to say we also saw opal armor. So that's going to be some lovely things to vendor for some startup cash, because nobody in this party's wearing it.
No, yeah, there's a chunk of what I think I saw like over 11,000 gold here, plus that opal. That's a nice amount of vendor funds right there. Just, you know, you got to get it out of here first. And werewolves with stone touch, and I believe thunder was on that pack as well. That is really gross. And as a joy, they're going to be showing up again in Earth Cave too.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. I mean, it's a gift to us. We get to be entertained while they keep dying. But
I mean, yeah, but I'm also one of the rare people who does comms. It's like, I feel bad a little bit when they suffer through things.
But we got put on a show for Speed Gaming Live. We're the opening match.
Alright, well, maybe just for today.
Gonna see what it's in the white magic shop while Ale continues to try and fight his way out. Finally, a bad level. Nothing really there that's worthwhile. Maybe Fog 2 if you need it, but the black belt should everything punched down before it's necessary.
It was also Fog 2, like, was in the 4th slot, and so nobody's learning it on these parties anyway. So
Not their own class change, yeah. Which, why would they class change? They have a black belt. That is, if you're not aware of how... Yeah, if you're not aware of how Final Fantasy works, the original game has a very strange character growth for the black belt. Now, they are... And Ael's going back in to check out the top. Interesting. Black belts are essentially, and this is how it works, at their best when they're naked. At a certain point, because of the way their stat growth works, they get points based on their levels. Like, everything grows at the same rate per level. So if you have a black belt that's not wearing anything, all of their stats are going to be, their attack, their defense, is going to be based on just their natural stats. The second you put something in their hands, the second you put some clothing on them, their stats are based on their, like, the actual equipment. There's no combining the two. And honestly, at a certain level, they're better off just being naked than actually wearing anything because their natural stats are just that much better. The other thing about them is the fact that the black belt, the unpromoted black belt, has better magic defense growth than the promoted master. So, if you find that tail with the black belt party, you don't want to use it because you want your MDef to be ungodly on that black belt.
yeah, the only way I could potentially see either of them class changing would be if it was to get life on that red mage and they had the class change for it. And even then, I'm not so sure that's happening.
I think Cure 4 was slot 4 at Canaria, so more than likely they're going to want to promote for that if they care, but they may not care because, again, just a bunch of heal pots and a black belt and you're kind of fine.
Yeah,
Like-
checking our tracker notes. Our tracker today, Dingwu, doing real good work back there.
He's a good boy.
He's the best boy. Love you, Dingwu. No, he did mark that Cure 4 was red wizard learnable. So
Slot 4. Okay, so
Yep.
that's good. Just a mild mix of basic spells like Fire 2 and stuff. Silver Bracelet plus 3 for a decent price. If we don't find a good gold O, that is actually going to be some pretty good endgame armor. It's not quite as good as a vanilla gold bracelet, but it's cheap, and it's almost as good. You throw a Pro Ring plus 3 on there as well. Heck, you're good to go.
yeah.
Chat making me laugh. Camas are a bit expensive. Heal pots are nice and cheap. Anytime heal pots roll below 50, I am happy to see it.
That we have one of my favorite newest features on by quantity, where you can just say, "Hey, I need this many of this thing," and
Love
there you go.
Yeah, that's one of the many features put in by one of our more recent additions to the dev team, Wild Ham, and it is so glorious.
It's beautiful. I love it.
Love it
It's
so much.
amazing.
Mhm.
While we were discussing how much we love the by quantity flag, saw in level 5 magic, gold bracelets -3. So those silvers are looking pretty good.
Silvers are good.
Life 2 was level 5 slot 1, so it is red mage learnable. No class promotion needed for that. Lit 3, I think was around the best we had at level 5 black magic, but it was slot 3, so it's class promoted. Probably not gonna get that. The sages, our tracker asking in chat, gave the crystal.
Yeah, so which you can see why Greggly is immediately going back and continuing his fetch quest over there.
Doing a little boating. It's fine.
Sailing the world
Ael-
and boating McBoatface.
Aelmarkin leaving
Ooh.
Melman after doing the magic check and is checking the tiles in Earth and finding the zombie D.
That's good. I mean, I don't necessarily think he's going to spend a long time here because they're not a ton of experience at this point in the game since we don't have a ton of key items yet to funnel into our experience. Noting, of course, that it's plus 5% per key item for experience. But I mean, you can get a couple quick starting levels and not have to stress too much about it. Although they do seem to be hitting fairly hard as dragons do.
Yeah, he got that first fight and got a couple levels off, but wanted to take a second one, and that black belt got knocked over. So he reset out, went to see the tile behind it. Definitely was not better. We just got the ribbon +5 from Victoria.
Yeah. So
life 2, the silver plus insert number here, but it was a good, I think 3.
3.
Pro ring 3 and that ribbon like on your red mage with that life 2, and those red mages are good to go.
Yeah, they're little tinky boys now. So for those that are curious, what the blessing does, blessings and curses on the gear, is it changes the stats up or down depending upon the number. It adds, and I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but it adds a certain number of points of defense and evade for every plus up. And of course, conversely, it subtracts a bit of defense and makes the items a little heavier, thus less evade, for every negative down. Now, the reason why you might want, say, a silver bracelet +3 over a gold O minus, I think it was -2, is because while the gold O may technically have slightly better absorb, it has much worse evade at that point than the silver will give you, and long term, the silver may actually be better, all things considering stats.
Danglu dropping in chat all the nice typed out numbers and plus and how it all works, and I'm
It's
glad
fantastic.
you did that, and you know it better, because if I had to explain it, we'd be here all day and everybody would be confused. So,
Yep, no. I'll read it off this time, but you can bet 5 minutes from now I'm going to have forgotten all these numbers. But for weapons, you get +2 to damage, +3 to hit, +3 to crit for every point up, and of course you can make those negatives for every point down. Meanwhile, for armor equipment on the hand, it's a +1 to absorb and weight. Meanwhile, chest armor is a +2 to absorb and weight per point. So, yeah. Don't worry, there will not be a quiz on that. That's just for those of you that really want to be able to do math on Twitch. I do not want to do that.
Thank goodness there won't be a quiz, because boy, would I fail it in spectacular fashion.
If Ael is traveling to Canaria and he has a silver bracelet +3, now meanwhile Greggly is sailing from Elfland with a gold bracelet -2, then no.
I should just start like speaking Lefanian Lupa.
Just write that for every answer on the test.
It's like
hell. Alright, vampire time with a dead. Woo! I don't think with Nuke this early. I don't think that vampire. Nope, there it goes. And the canoe.
Hey,
so
now we got a tiny boat to go with our big boat.
Burt Reynolds, our canoe expert. You're gonna be able to sail all over the world with it.
We can go traveling in all the river systems and the ocean. We're just, if there's water, we got it covered.
You got it covered. So that opens up a few more areas for us to go check out. Volcano's now open, which if they want to kill Carrie, they can go do that. The Ice Cave is open to us. Ordeals is open to us. And since I believe the northern docks are turned on for this, and there's going to be one over at Onrak, that also opens up Waterfall for us. So that's a lot more areas to go, and plenty of exploration. Yeah.
I'm a checking the flags, and the northern dock box is not checked.
Oh, so Onrak is yet unavailable to us.
So it looks like we're headed to over
Ice Ordeals?
toward the ice. Yep.
Yeah.
You say ice or Ordeals.
Yep. I'm so used to Northern Docks being on at this point. It's actually kind of weird that they're not. But no, that's fun.
Yeah, my brain immediately went, they've also got like Onrak and Waterfall and.
Cracker Dangwoo, like, dropping the knowledge that Volcano is incentivized, so that makes the Volcano Dive a little spicier. Plus, I mean, normally when we're playing a game, I actually like the Volcano Dive because there's plenty of gear and cool tiles to check. I don't know that with the Black Belt party I care quite as much about that, but still.
Numbers-wise, like, you have the Ice Volcano area, 2 incentives there, so it kind of makes sense to go there first.
Yeah, when I go
But
into ordeals, I really like to be able to do the ordeals on-rack waterfall pass all at once. Yeah.
And the good news today, whether you do ice or ordeals, you got warp at level 3, so it's going to be a little easier for you.
Burt Reynolds asking when we're chipping in to rebuild the Melman Clinic. For just 5 gil a day, you can help support the rebuilding of Melman.
I mean, as much as we're all there and would appreciate a clinic, I think it's worth it. I mean, it worked for LaFay.
I keep suggesting that we put into the game Random Melman, where one of the towns has been attacked by the vampire, but you're not sure which one it is. But as of yet, they have not let me have that flag.
Chat now quoting Sarah McLachlan songs.
I mean, I would join in with them on stream, but I don't want to get a copyright takedown notice. So we'll hold on.
And I just don't simply want to hurt people's ears.
Now, the one thing that's important about this on-rec ordeals play, which I think it's cool that Ale did it, is the fact that with Warp, it is a little faster to navigate through here. If you've played the vanilla game, but you haven't played the randomizer before, the thing is that Warp and Exit are locked behind class promotion. And the only way to actually get over here to be able to promote is to have the floater and have the tail, both of which you have to do other quests for, so you can get your class promotion to be able to get the spells to be able to help out in this dungeon and Ice Cape. It's like the devs knew that you could probably short circuit the game if you had those spells, so they locked them behind the items that are at the dungeons you need them for. Warp is great here though, because you can see Ale tore through that randomized teleporter maze like it was nothing.
Yeah, today we get a warp at level 3, and we're not getting exit at all because it was slot 4 level 5, and well, we have no white mages, so.
I mean, that's on them. They could have had a white mage, they just had a draft for it.
True, but
I would take
perfectly fine without the white mage. No.
Yeah. 3 nuke casters all day, please and thank you. We also got the Ruby, which actually opens up 2 locations, because Titan's Trove itself has been incentivized for this flag set, and then of course Sarda is locked behind the Ruby, so we very well could be looking at our ever-popular Sarda special, Sarda sitting on the floater.
We could be, and Aelmarkin, he left Earth and he just completely bypassed Crescents. He starts at check to make and hasn't gotten his crystal, so I mean, granted, it just led to the ribbon, so he hasn't gotten it yet. So he may make that stop when he heads back up here, because he's depending on what he gets at Titan and Sarda. That will have to be like where he heads next. However, with 2 incentivized locations. Oh, and Greg finding a second ribbon here in the Volcano Armory.
He did also find Ice Armor +3, which if they'd been smart and, drafted a fighter into their mix, they'd be able to use, but they can't.
Yeah, they have found. It's like, of course, when you don't have a fighter, you find a lot of fighter gear. But if we had 2 fighters on stream right now, we'd probably have like chain armor and a wooden shield. Like,
here's your Opal Toboggan, -5. Yep.
I swear the game loves us in its own way.
Even though we have put in improvements or anything, the Seer's gift for cursing us every chance he gets with this game still lives on.
30 years later, and you just in a fit of why, just Nasir.
So you saw Ale there bounce out of the dungeon here, Titan's Trope, before bouncing back in. That was so that when he casts Warp in a second after getting the scale, he'll bounce to that exit instead of going all the way back to the start of the dungeon. It's a very smart move. Heads up play there. Some might even say veteran move.
Chat asking how the draft picks went. Ale went first, picked our red mage. Greg went second with black belt black mage, and Ale finished out the draft with our second black mage.
I found a Thor hammer that could help with certain grinds since it'll cast lightning too when used as an item. I think we also saw Ice Sword +4, which actually is usable by the red mage, and honestly, that's a really nice item with the pluses on there. And we got the crown! So, not immediately useful, and those of you hoping for that these quest chains would turn into a cube, as I saw Burt Reynolds in chat asking for, still got a chance for a cube. The dream is real.
It's alive!
No start a special just yet. And Ale's like, Earth Cave, ain't no one going
well,
to the cave. No.
The dream is dead. Well, kind of. It wasn't the crown that gave us a cube. Greg just got it in Volcano.
Well, there's a cube. Oh well. We were hoping.
So what are we gonna get from Astos today? The Adamant.
So I hear you like quest chains.
We're just visiting all the world has to offer here in good old Final Fantasy.
I don't sing, but I feel like, the Frozen song, "Would you like to go on a fetch quest," is certainly viable right now. Would you like to have a fetch quest? That hits the syllables perfectly. And the bridge boss. We just saw the credits.
Oh my gosh. And our Adamant is the herb.
So, let's just keep playing fetch quest.
Yeah, so while Aelmarkin's walking a path up and down this part of the world, Greggly's taking on Carrie, which not a bad play when you got 3 new casters, and Carrie's down.
God, I hope this leads to the bottle. Yeah, Carrie was blink and you miss it. That was... Oh!
And it's our floater.
Boo! I mean, Ale's happy. Ale's going to be in the air. Actually, this is going to give Ale a huge lead right now over Greggly, because Greggly is canoeing around town.
Yeah, he got his cube from there. He's headed to Ice to get his incentive there. So yeah, getting the floater is definitely gives you just that slight of an edge because you're no longer walking anywhere, sailing anywhere. And to be real honest, as much as Ale boated and walked around for that floater, he kind of deserves it.
I'm loving these cameras so we can see them as we watch Ale get harassed by his son. It's so cute.
We got the kiddo, the kitty. Ale is giving us everything we need this morning.
Flippin' fantastic. Okay, so with the floater in hand, pretty much the entirety of the world is now our mollusk. The things that we are looking for at this point, because we know where Cube is at, is the rod and the key. At this point, we have everything else we need to actually finish out the seed and be in go mode. The second that we get rod and key, we will at least be in commentator no mode, and then the gamers will just have to, put it together themselves.
See where? Oh, okay, we headed up to Provoke. I thought for a hot second there that Ale was gonna go high five Greg in Ice Cave, but we're doing a little shopping first.
Shopping percent. Getting the brack.
He was a little.
Oh.
A little broke first time he was here. So now we got spending money.
Living off the goodwill of the King of Canaria. Did buy Brax. Brack is a great spell for actually the early part of the game. Primarily before Topher, really, because it's a good good spell for killing things instantly, and 2 of the fiends, Kraken and Tiamat, are susceptible to it. You were gonna say, Danny?
I was saying, and we already have the Oxyel. So with the canoe, the Oxyel, we can make and Brack at level 2 with 3 Brack casters. Like, even if you're not a super high level, with the flags and the scaling in these flags, I am alright. So Greg got to keep from ice.
Yep.
I am perfectly good with, flying up to the Anorak area, stopping, maybe doing waterfall first because you can get a few levels there, taking fights just to get your item from the robot, warping out, and then heading into Anorak and doing Anorak, and potentially, like I said, with 3 broadcasters, taking out Kraken and just getting it all done in one shot.
We did get the 3rd ribbon from the Ice D room here at Ice Cave, and also worth pointing out that the spike tile there was Zombie D's Whiz Vamps, which we're hitting pretty hard, but depending upon what other spike tiles we find lurking in the game, that may just be the best one that we have long term for a grind, assuming our characters or our players decide to do one.
Chat asking, anyone have an advantage all right now?
Chat has an advantage right now.
Right? Greggly has lit his first orb and has the cube, which Aelmarkin still needs to get. To light that orb and get the cube, but Aelmarkin is in the air. So, I mean, I hate to give anybody a lead, but I think that maybe El, just because he's no longer, taking the slow route everywhere, has a bit of lead, especially considering it was quite the trek to get that floater. There was a lot of places that required a visit. So yeah, if I was going to give anybody an advantage, Ale, but not by a whole lot.
Not by much. The crystal that Greg got, the carry crystal, is the one that doesn't have. It has the least amount of requirements. All you gotta be able to do is get over the volcano, which canoe or floater, whatever. So getting over there is the only requirement. It's not as bad as needing like the rod to access the depths of Earth or cube and chime for Sky Palace. So like that's the easiest one for them to get, and I'm sure Ale's going to go over and do that soon since it's in the area and Volcano is incentivized. But yeah, so it's a small advantage on the part of Greggly. I kind of feel like Ale's going to catch that up real quick.
Yeah, and like with Greg, and like with Greg doing Volcano, like we said earlier, like you got 3 new casters. And with the scaling stuff on these flags, if the levels are at Carrie, unless Carrie rolled nasty, which she didn't seem to, at least we didn't see anything nasty out of her own when Greg was there. Like Carrie at these levels, 3 new casters is fine.
So we see that the Zombie D Whizvamp pack can easily absorb 2 nukes and just keep going. That's 3 nukes. I feel like that's too spicy right now.
Greg abandoned this boat, left ice, walked up to Bravoka, brought that red mage back, and is doing a little bit of shopping.
Resupply?
I don't want to speak out of turn. I'm going to guess the fact that he went in this direction, maybe he's going to leave here and head towards Canaria, because it's Canaria locked. Because I think this might have been, based on where he parked his boat, I think this may be the quicker check, was to just leave ice and walk there.
Like, I would like this play a little more if he hadn't saved in the middle of it, so that if Canaria Lock ends up being, like, the katana, for example, which is still sitting in the pool, something he doesn't care about, then he could just reset all the way back to Ice Cave. And Greg cheering for the bridge boss at the... I don't see a timer. Oh, there it is. Up in the corner.
There's one on Ale's side.
36 minutes in, we get a bridge boss.
You know what? It will forgive Greg for not having the timer this morning. It's real early. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get why he did save a Provoca, and even if it isn't quite the reset back, because he did bring his red mage back and picked up a couple of things he needs there. So, as we see the expression on Greg's face today.
Yeah.
He was not happy that was the bottle, and I don't blame him, because right now what he is hoping for was a floater, and that is certainly not what he got.
Soon as Ale gets this ruby here from the red D chest in Volcano, which you can see he's ignoring everything here. I mean, I don't even think he's going to get the extra ribbons. He's got the one, he doesn't care anymore. But,
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh. Like, as he ignores everything here, and then he checks the one
that's
box.
what they do. That's what players do. I say something, and they just completely defy me. But he's going to get this ruby, and he's going to be like, okay, I can do the math. I know where the last few incentives are. I got the key. I just need cube and rod. This is going to be easy. Let's just go do stuff. He's going to start flying around, taking stuff out, and we'll probably just see him start, like, taking it on fiends 1, 2, 3, 4, because, and you can see the 1 right here, because he's got nuke. He's got nuke for days.
Yeah, and like I said, Ale taking on Carrie, about to light his first orb, while Greg is taking the walking tour of the Inner Sea. Has left Canaria, headed over to Northwest, checking tiles and such, looking for a place to do his grind. Boy, is he going to be real upset to know that here before long, he's going to be walking to all these places again.
Okay, Ale doing what chat was discussing. He killed Carrie first just to get it out of the way, and now he's going to go do the red D chest so that he can then quickly exit out after and have everything taken care of. It's an interesting order he did it in, but considering the fact that Carrie was probably the bigger threat here, I can understand why he's doing it in this order. And there's his cube, he just needs his rod, and he is in go. And chat is commenting upon the fact that it is early, and I can't deny that. It is just about 9 o'clock in the morning. We are the opening match for all of SpeedGaming Live 2020. And I think Danny and I are running on caffeine and adrenaline at this point.
You are not wrong, sir. Actually, I can't even say caffeine because that required me to do more this morning than I was capable of. I'm just running on, like I said at the beginning, just pure enthusiasm.
I think technically you said you were still in bed right now. Just grab your laptop there.
That is true. I got comfy, I grabbed my laptop and my headset, and you're getting comms from bed this morning, folks.
So Greg, as chat is pointing out, and I was going to comment as well, has done an entire lap of the Circle C and is now coming right back again. I believe we need to call that the Greggly Walking Tour now. We need a meme name for that.
The Greggly Memorial Tour. Something. It just, yeah. The
Greggly Historical Circle C Tour.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to do about half of that once he starts following the question to get his floater.
Now bear in mind, as of yet, we have not found a good grind tile to speak of. We're not necessarily sure, as Ale gets his bottle, where the best grind is going to be, and if it ends up being, for instance, that Zombie D Whizvamp tile, they are scary. That is not the kind of tile you necessarily want to see as your best alternative.
Chat commenting that he hasn't lost yet. I think they're referring to Greg, and I believe it was me calling it the Greggly Memorial Walking Tour. I didn't call it that because I think he's going to lose. I called it that because I'm bad with coming up with names for things. No slight on Greg at all, because this is far from over. And short of just Ale having the floater and doing a couple of things, he doesn't really have much of a leap. And depending on how the rest of this game plays out, we've still got 3 more Fiends and Topher to go. So this is nobody's game right now.
A white shirt? So
maybe not be what you wanted from the fairy, but I mean, it has its uses, especially later game.
I'm sorry.
You got a black belt that can punch things, and now you got something that makes it a little harder for things to punch you.
I don't remember Ale talking to the Lupa Lupa people or getting the slab translated so he could talk to the Lupa Lupa people.
He did when he did the Melman check before he headed to Earth and translated his slab.
I mean, all of us hoping that the Lupa person blocks him. All of us. Oh, Katana +5. I guess we're going to Waterfall.
We have no thieves or ninjas. Vendor sword.
I mean, it's a lovely vendor sword, +5. That's glorious.
And it should fetch us a good chunk of change. We're hoping.
I can just feel Will Bloodworth being summoned. Thieves, you say?
I'm not really, because Aelmarkin is in go mode. I'm not entirely sure what he was looking for there. With that Lefane check.
He needs the rod.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yep. Completely missed that on the tracker.
So that's part of the reason why he's here.
I'm looking at it, and it's just there in between all the things. It's not lit up, but it looks like it's there. So I'm like, yeah, my brain dwarfed just a little bit. It's
fine.
We'll blame it on the time of day and the lack of caffeine. It totally was not my fault.
It's fine. I'm gonna skip the bad '90s music reference. We're gonna move on from there. So you guys can fill in the Milli Vanilli reference as you want to. So the rod is the only thing we're looking for. That's part of the reason why he's here. He's in the area. Sky is incentivized. If he finds the rod here, he's easily in go mode. If he doesn't have the rod here, he can still at least kill Tiamat because he's got early Brax, and Tiamat will just fall over from it. We hope. So we say. Put an asterisk right by that.
I started to jinx you, but then I have to do comms alone, and that is not happening. Ever.
Two Instrumental in chat gets the reference I was making. And there's our rod. So that is go mode for Ale. Effectively. He needs to, at this point, figure out what his plan is beyond Tiamat, which we assume he's going to go fight with Brax and try and survive. The grind is still our issue.
Yeah, because, we found a couple of places that could work, but aren't great.
Not great, no. And the reason why we're harping on that grind is because they drafted Black Belt. We've seen plenty of fantastic fighter and thief gear, and they can easily get to level 20 just by walking around and killing things while they're exploring. But they didn't take a thief or a fighter. They took a Black Belt, and the Black Belt is really only starts getting truly effective at level 32 or so. So they need to get their Black Belt up to level 32, and they gotta find a way to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not great with Black Belts, and if I would have been playing this with hoping I found, if I had to take a Black Belt, the mods is somewhere that I could have thrown on it or something, because otherwise this would have been real bad for me. But thankfully for these two, they're much better at this game than I am and know how to play a Black Belt well. So even if we're working with tiles that aren't great, I'm sure they will make it work.
Now, there's an interesting grind that could be on the table depending upon the tiles that we do find. And Ale finally gets Tiamat to fall down after 4 Brax.
And Greg turning in his crown and starting the fetch quest of all fetch quests.
He already did one walking tour of the Circle C. Why not a second one?
Right.
So, yeah.
It's just some early morning exercise to start your day off.
Gotta get that cardio in. So,
exactly.
The thing I was going to point out, in Canaria Castle's treasury, we found the black shirt. And then we just saw on the Bridge of Destiny there in Sky Palace that the R hydrants are susceptible to even just one Ice 2 can actually cause them to fall over. Now, one of the B-side trap tiles we could find is that 4 R hydrant pack. So, if we can find a spike tile that has that somewhere in the game, that could be a very nice grind for even just your single black belt. Bust out a black shirt, see most of them fall over, do a little bit of cleanup, you're good to go. I would take that grind, honestly.
Yeah. I'm trying not to chuckle, but I'm so glad we have webcams because the expressions
So
Greg's
good.
giving us with
Yes.
the turn-ins.
This is not something we traditionally see on our layouts when we're playing Final Fantasy, although I have helped us craft a cam view as we feel like using it. But yeah, no, being able to watch his face and his expressions, it's so good.
There was only a couple, just a slight. Are you kidding me? Let's.
I feel like we've put down the summoning circle for a Will Bloodworth here. Drop 2 katanas on the ground and he should show up, right?
Okay, now we officially have a Greggly in the air, so both runners are
Good.
now in the air.
Good.
Aelmarkin headed to his 3rd orb. Greg going to turn in his bottle, has a couple turns and such to do, but again, not terribly behind because, like you said, we have nothing really to check other than incentive boxes on Greg's side looking for that rod. So really don't have. You can really just run through places and head to fiends. So that makes a lot of these places very quick to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is not going to be bad, and you can see that they're basically doing pure black belt strats right now. They're not going to class change. They're not even bothering to check level 7 or level 8 magic. They're just cruising on through.
Yeah, not to mention, we had, like, everything they really could have wanted in this scene.
Mm-hmm.
They got early, so there was no need to really even check magic in the later part of the game.
Yeah. So Ale is coming in here to water. He is going to come do his Kraken kill. Again, pure, unadulterated Brack strats, but he is also checking for tiles and treasure just to see what's available. Arachnids, not gonna cut it.
Yeah, that is not the tile you want to see.
It is interesting that he has the key and he was on the other side of the world at one point, and yet he didn't go and check the Astos spike tiles, he didn't go and check the Topher spike tile. There's a lot of easy ones he could have investigated that we just didn't see him actually check.
Yeah, well, when he was by Northwest Castle doing all his turn-ins, he didn't have the key yet. He still had not done Ice Caves, so he may circle back around to those if he doesn't find something before that, which is kind of looking at this point like he may not. But Greg did check those and didn't stick around because like I said, I don't remember exactly what they were. But
not worth it. I remember that.
Yeah,
it's just interesting, is all.
Yeah. So.
Also, want to note that while he was checking some of the rooms and checking some of the tiles, he did not go and check what I think we're going to have to start calling the Dangwu room, the one on that floor right before this, off to the side that has a couple spike tiles in it. And our tracker, Dangwu, tends to forget which room it is and has problems finding it. We love you, Dangwu.
It's the ones under the stairs. Which one?
Dangwu, our tracker, in check, going, which room? Which? What?
The one under the stairs.
Which
and
one?
Depending on the day, depends on the room.
Aelmarkin
is while we're making jokes. There was a Kraken, and then there quickly wasn't a Kraken.
Oh
and
my
at
god!
The 50-minute mark, Aelmarkin lit his 3rd orb. So
I was going to comment on the thing. Yeah, like that was a race or a fight I was actually going to talk about before I could even get it going. He was already dead. Like wow.
I say that's not something you see often. Is when you park your airship in Northwest Castle and your boat's just hanging out there.
Hey, boat! Good to see you again, boat.
It's rare when a chain that's where you park, turning in a chain, and then you end up with your airship and your boat's just hanging out at Northwest Castle.
It was good seeing you, boat.
And Greg getting his rod, so he's now hit go mode, about to light his 2nd orb. Ale getting the bad news that, yep, there's no tiles here either that's really going to help you out much.
Next up will be the Topher check, I will assume, because there's a spike tile there. I'm not expecting Ale to go dive into Marsh again to see what the spike tiles are in the locked area.
Probably not. However,
Nope.
Zombies
aren't going to do it.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna settle on the tile we have here. Yeah, like I said, it's not great, but it looks like that one black mage is permanently down for the count unless it comes back as a meat shield. So, like, he's gonna do a little better with experience on this tile than he had with 4 people up earlier.
Plus, of course, there's the fact that he's got like double the key items he had initially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's not the best tile, but it's definitely, he's in a much better position to do it now than he was earlier.
It'll do. Yeah, his black belt is already starting to take off half the damage of a zombie D with a punch. So, I mean, he gets a few more levels on here. Black belt might actually start being able to solo them, and then it's just a decision about how high he wants to grind. Like, stat scaling on the bosses isn't too bad. 50 to 200%, I think. And the clamp health of 100 to 150%. I could see 32 and calling it a day.
Yeah. Plus, like, you have all the support magic for that you could possibly want.
Yeah.
Right now, you've got level 1 temper, you have level 2, I believe, level 2 fast, you've got level 3 nuke and lock 2, and 3 casters of all of those. So, like, you're not hurting for magic. So, I think 32 is definitely doable. I say fingers crossed, knocking on wood, that I didn't just jinx them and give them a horrible token.
I think the decision really isn't so much the level on the black belt. Once you get to 32, you're happy on that. The real decision is making sure you have enough charges of life 2, which I think was level 5, on that red mage. So you're gonna want to get enough levels on your red mage that he has more than just like a cast or 2 of that spell.
Yeah. And he's already well into his 20s, like upper. Yeah, he's past mid-20s. So yeah, he's going to have a decent chunk of charges on that red mage for life too.
Yeah, he already has 5 charges of it, or not 5, 4 charges of it, because numbers are hard. Before we even got into this fight. So yeah, I mean, 32 on the red mage and the black belt together, and I think you're good at this point. I think you could probably just stomp in the Topher at that point. Although he might be out of nuke charges, or he might be conserving that one last warp charge so that he can, get out of here quickly.
Chat asking, do we have a red mage weapon? We really haven't seen anything so
Ice sword
much.
+4.
Oh, was there? Okay, I remember seeing a flame sword that rolled negative. I did not see the ice sword.
Yeah.
So yeah, that ice sword +4 on your red mage is not shabby.
Maybe it was a +3 from Twinstrumental in
+3?
chat.
Okay.
But still, that's a plus on a sword that the red mage can use. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. I would immediately whittle my red mage.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fine and acceptable weapon right there. We're just I think the double party. Oh, it is a +4. Excellent. So yeah, see, that's a fantastic sword. Gonna be able to just like do some damage with that as a backup, just in case somehow the black belt gets taken out. And with the white shirt that we already have, the Invis 2s that we have, should be able to get our buffs up pretty quickly. Like this is looking like a pretty fine Topher right here.
Yeah, like you said, you have the Invis 2 on that red mage. You can put that white shirt on one of your black mages or just a different party member, and then you immediately have 2 casters of that Invis 2, which are going to get your buffs up even quicker.
This is going to go pretty well. I mean, we could still see something nasty in Topher, and even at low scaling, Kraken can still be quite the decider. But like, this is seeming like it's going to be a pretty decent time through here.
Yeah, like we have no clue what's in store for them once they hit Topher, but right now it's looking pretty good for these guys.
So Greggly is about to go up north and check out the Dangwoo room, and we can find out whether or not there's a good grind in here. Oh. God, there is.
Well, let's see what they have first.
Yeah. Like, we need to make sure that they aren't always ambushy, and we need to make sure that they don't have a...
Okay. One of those nukes landed for 388, and it's still... and still standing. Another 130 took it down, but they have around at least 400 health.
Oh,
I mean, he got a lot of experience from that fight. However,
Yeah, that was 8K with all 4 members standing, and all it took was 3 nukes. I like the math.
Yeah, I think I would sit there for a few. I at the very least, I'm gonna burn probably some new charges there.
Yeah. I mean, you just need to make sure you have Brack casts for Kraken. I would sit on this all day. They're ambushy, which I don't think Greggly liked. You could see his head nod there.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, that's 4K right there for very little effort. Like, that's about what Ael's getting right now for these zombie Ds that are taking forever. Oh god. Oh god.
What happened to the... It's like I looked away and the black belt was down.
He may have forgotten to heal after an encounter, and they are hitting for still 155. That's...
Ooh.
Woo! Spicy.
Those zombie Ds are swinging today. Chat asking how many ribbons Ael has. He has at least the one from Matoya. There was one in Volcano. He skipped
I think
past.
it's just one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I believe there was one, a second or a third one in Ice. And I didn't see him get it. From what I saw, he just did like the warp check and then left. Like he made quick work of those places because he just simply didn't need to check things. So he
went chest density, so he checked the Frostwolf 6-pack, and that was the only room that he checked in Ice Cave.
So he has a ribbon on that life caster, which is important, but no pretty hair for anybody else on the party today.
Greggly has decided that the Ghastly chest room is just not worth it. Although I think you and I agree that Dangwoo room was actually pretty good right there. So the zombie Ds may end up being the grind for both of them.
Yeah, like I understand the play. Like they did have a lot of HP. And like being that far in to see the last thing you want to do is like do your grind and get all your levels and then wipe. So
I understand it. Yeah, I mean, they may be half the experience, but it's a lot safer here. Oh.
Okay, right before right before that Invis 2 went off, Kraken zeroed in on that black belt and said, "Today's not your day."
Not today, Black Belt. Although,
yeah.
I mean, the experience loss is probably going to make him a little cringy, but at least he got the Brack off and Kraken fell down. That's the nice thing about Brack.
Yeah, but especially concerned, I'm not sure how many nukes he had quite left with how many he used on those casties, so... Greggly headed to Waterfall. This is a tile we have not seen, because Ael was in go mode, and I don't think he checked here.
Still a chance from Third Eye Grind. No, I don't think he checked here.
So this could be a good tile, and with Warp, this is an easy check. You get it if this is the tile. You can take all your levels you want here, and as long as you leave one of those Warp casters up, you can warp right out and save, and...
Well, there's another Green D. He knows how much these are worth. Yeah, this is probably a dud, because we have 2 dud locations in the pool.
Yeah.
And look, his black belt's already starting to get to the point where he might be able to punch a Ghastly down on his own. But yes, this is hour 5 of Aelmarkin's destruction of the zombie Ds. If you have zombie defects, now is the time to take them.
Well, that definitely wasn't a tile we were sticking around for.
So...
Let's say Ael seems to be happy with his levels. He's
33.
He stopped the grind, he saved, and he's like, time to go punch a lich in the face.
Yeah, I feel like he got past 32, had a thought about whether or not he wanted to take it any further, and then afterwards was like, never mind.
Greg right behind him still needs to do a bit of it. It's still, level's not super, super great. At least, I mean, the levels on the mages, I load like mid-20s at most. Like, that I would be perfectly fine with. It'd be that black belt I'd be a little worried about not having the levels on. But right now, it's just like, we are just trucking past everything, going through Earth. I don't recall if we saw the tiles on Earth 4.
I don't think we did. No.
So he may be, like I say, he may be just running through Earth because he already knows what's on the tiles on Earth 1.
Oh, we couldn't have because we didn't have the rod when we were here. Yeah.
Rod. So I think that might be Greg's play, is just because he already knows what tiles are on Earth 1, is to just, I mean, he has to do Lich anyway, is to head down here, see what is on those tiles on Earth 4. Fingers crossed, hoping that, when he gets there that he finds something good. And if not, he will probably, I'm guessing, do the play Aelmarkin did after taking out Lich, and is just go sit on those zombie Ds for a little while.
Well, and something to think about is, again, as we noted early on, we've got Fast, we've got Temper. If you can get your evade buffs up and still have your black belt up afterwards, which is an iffy thing maybe with the amount of health it has, if you're at Chaos at that point, you could just temper for days, and as we've seen from your friend Spellzap, you can take a dagger into the Chaos fight and start cranking out real damage with enough tempers. Like, a level 20 black belt with enough tempers on him could still win the day.
Yeah, Spellzap has in fact proven that you can beat Chaos with a whole lot of different things.
Yup. So depending upon the pressure,
I'm not going to. Okay, well, not a tile we were hoping for.
Nope. Depending upon the pressure Greggly may feel he's, or that tile, ew. The pressure he may feel, he may try and risk it on the biscuit for a 20-ish black belt.
Yeah, I think that look said it all. Like, well, that was a bust.
Oh, hell. And as Dangmu, our tracker in chat, is pointing out, black belt at 21 has 6 hits. Like, that's really what you're concerned with right there. Your hits, your crits. Because you put enough damage with Temper on there, and even a mid-range black belt could start cranking out some damage. It's just surviving that long. So with 4 orbs lit having rendered Lich into dust faster than we could see, Aelmarkin is going to be the first of our runners to enter the Temple of Fiends, and we're looking at that at...
Come on. 1 hour, 4 minute mark.
1 hour, 4 minutes, and
10 seconds or so.
Officially 13 seconds for the Black Orb. So we are good to roll there, and we are going to see how quickly this goes for Aelmarkin.
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that he went in there without, like, all his heal pots, well, that's maybe not. I mean, that's an okay tile, but yes, okay. I'm a little worried, but that's just me. I'm never going into Tover without like 99 of them, so that 75 feels a little bad. Greg did what I was expecting. He lit that 4th orb, and now he's gonna go take his frustrations out on some zombie Ds.
So what we need to see is a particularly nasty Topher right now that renders Ale to the point where he has to be like, alright, well that didn't work, maybe I should go back and grind some more. Because right now, he has a decisive lead over Greggly.
Yeah, and like we said before, and I feel like this Topher, like his level, like everything, he's in a very good position to like one shot this as long as nothing is just really bad here. Again, I say fingers crossed, knocking on wood, that I don't jinx them at all.
Okay, I just lost commentary stream, so I'm having to go off of Twitch right now, so I'm going to be a few seconds behind you.
Okay, well, what you'll see in a second, Aelmarkin has pulled his Lich 2 fight. We've got a fast, Lich with Lit 2, not bad, that's fine. A Temper, and a Punch for 1,400, almost 1,500.
Well, that Lich is dusted.
Yeah, he went poof. Um,
Looks like quite the little hero run there, too. Straight over to carry at this point. Getting our buffs out. Punch from the black belt for 461. Carry comes back with Ice 2, which actually seems to do some decent damage here. Not everyone is wearing a ribbon right now. Oh, that's right, because Ale only has one. Follow-up nuke, 178. Another nuke, 150. Fire 3 is going to wipe those black belt, or black mages. But 13 hit, over 1,000 damage punch, and that carry falls over.
See, not before taking out some black mages with her. It's like, if I'm going down, black mages are going down too.
Yeah, Ale is making quick work of this, and I think that shows that with the health scaling of the enemies the way they're at, and the health scaling of the bosses, it really does feel like 32 is the way to go for this flag set. So we're getting our buffs out. Lightning 3 takes out one of the 2 black mages. So one of those tempers isn't going to happen, but 2 other tempers come out. And we get a Paunch. 7 hits for 885. Already feel like that Kraken is going to be on the ropes. A nuke to follow. 210 damage. Yep, that Kraken dead. Another pile of nuked sashimi, and we're already moving on towards Tiamat 2.
Yeah, Ale is making very quick work of this stuff.
It is super fast. Quickly pick up that meat shield. Oh, that's part of the reason why that black mage died so fast. He's like still level 10 or so.
Yeah, the one black mage was down for a lot of this seed.
Hey, he survived a nuclear.
I know, I was about to say, we're talking about, it's like, he's barely got any levels, he's just whatever, and he's just like, he took a nuclear like a champ. So you know
go. What? You go, Black Mage!
Right, that's the little Black Mage named Dang. You go, Dango.
Go, Dango. I mean, technically right now he's named Dark, but that's just because he's got Dark stats. I joined the party! Look at me!
You were briefly one of us.
I was briefly in, and then I was ejected once again when you realized I was there. Womp womp.
Greg doing his grind, doing the same thing Aelmarkin did, killing off those black mages and getting the levels on his black belt and red mage.
Really want those life casts. That's essential. So while his grind is still going on, Ale is headed right into Chaos, and we're going to see whether or not Chaos can stop the Aelmarkin train. Well, there goes one Black Mage. No, Black Mage! No, Black Mage! Wah, 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 wah. 8 hits for 276. That's not really enough yet. Okay, we got the fast off. Now we're going to keep tempering, because we got temper for days with it being level 1. 16 hits, 399. Ice 2 chip damage. Temper again. Another temper. Oh, that's a double stack of temper before we even get the next punch. Tornado for 200 is a little scary, but 16 hits for 1335 is even scarier. Follow up for another 1,000, and that Chaos is already dead with an official race time GG time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, 59 seconds. Aelmarkin is the first place winner of this match and our first place runner for any match in SpeedGaming Live 2020, as this is the opening match of the event. GG's to Ale.
GG, Aelmarkin. Very well played.
Woo! That was a pretty good match for our first match of the event so far. That really showed like a nice diversity to parties, the way that you can just route your way through the seed, and solid strategy all around. And I guess we're going to try and see if we can get Ale in for an interview.
Ask him how he enjoyed his nice leisurely stroll for the floater this morning.
the GregglyPuff historical tour.
Hey, technically, he only took half the historical tour. Greg took the whole thing for us. Speaking of, doing his last minute, shopping, buying everything that he wants on his party, about to do his Topher dive. Going in and buying, making sure he has all the heals he's going to need for this run. Making me feel a little better about it than Ale did. Appreciate it, Greg. Thanks, buddy. It looks like we're sending an invite to Aelmarkin, so he can come in and chit-chat with us.
And we are joined in chat, in fact, by Aelmarkin. Ale, GG's to you.
GG's, sir.
Thanks, Darkman and Danny.
Actually, I think we're gonna... I just want to make sure that everyone is with us, because I think some people are seeing an ad break right now, so we'll give you your GGs officially again so you can feel extra special. So...
It's all fine.
Greggly making his way through Topher right now. Ooh, finds that Zombie D Whizvamp pack. That's a tasty experience. Oh, no, he's running from it. Oh, well. They were hurtful.
One slight punch, and he's like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
We got places to go, things to do. We ain't sticking around for this. Chat letting us know that the ad is over.
Yeah, I've got one more up right here. I'm going to let it clear out so that we can make sure everyone's caught up. And we'll officially... Well, 30 seconds.
Sometimes.
We're getting there.
Oh my God.
We're getting there.
But it's fine. For those watching on YouTube after the fact, at least we see GregglyPuff making his way through. Actually finds some worms and decides not to fight them. I guess he feels like he's fine on the experience right now. Finds the Germadeuces, is actually taking these because they are tasty. I mean, I can understand that.
Yeah, last I saw his levels during his grind was he was around 30. I'm assuming he went to 32. Like right now, he needs to heal before I'm pushing for sure.
But hey, we are officially back for everyone here, no matter how you're watching us right now. So, joined in the booth by Aelmarkin. GG's to you, sir.
Hey, thanks, guys.
So how'd you feel about your run?
How'd you feel?
Pins and needles, nerves got to me part of the way through. Like, what was it? I'm sitting there doing the fetch quest that ended in floater, and it just like kept adding stuff on. So it's like, oh, it's the ruby. Great. Well, there's 2 incentive items. Let's hope this turns into something great. And then I went and I think I got the tail from Titans, and I was like, oh, okay. And then it was what, crown, and I was like, okay, crown, okay, that's good. And then it turned into herb, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. And it was what, adamant or whatever it was.
I think it was crown to adamant herb, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, after the second one, I'm like, if this turns into a katana, I'm gonna be very upset about this.
I mean, it did turn into something good. It just took a little while.
Yeah, I was just really thinking, like, man, watch, because I hadn't checked Crescent Lake for the item there at that point in time, and so I'm just sitting there the entire time thinking, man, if the floater's in Crescent Lake, I'm gonna be so behind chasing down this katana right now. But it worked out.
Yeah,
So
Greg did the Crescent Lake check before you went to the Melmont Earth area. Greg did Crescent and then went there, so he had gotten the crystal and the ribbon, and we knew that it wasn't the floater. But I can just imagine that, like, doing all that and then it just be like, man, if this isn't whatever, man, what if I left like that floater or something that leads to it just sitting in Crescent this whole time, and I'm just walking and boating everywhere instead? Like, yeah, that would not be a great feeling to have.
but yeah, aside from that, I think it was fine. The only other thing that was just terrible is, I don't know if Greg ever found something better than those silly zombie dragons, but they were pretty chunky, and they liked, like, I was going fine with them for a while, then all of a sudden they started critting me, and I'm like, you can calm that down, that'd be great.
On the Sharknado floor, on the tile, but not that tile.
Yeah, the Daewoo room.
Was the Gasties, but they had a good over 400 HP. We're not going down easy. Hit kind of hard. Greg found them right before his Kraken fight. He took a few fights and then was like, this is just way too much. It's taking too long, risky, what have you, and bailed on it. But yeah, other than that, the Zombie D was the best tile that we saw in the game. And Greg even checked the few places you didn't. Like, he left on rack and checked Waterfall and was like, I think it was Wizards? Whatever it was, he immediately like reset right back out of it and was like, nope. So yeah, there really wasn't a super great tile anywhere that we saw.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with these B-side tiles is, I think the best one we saw was the Germaduces, but that was after you were, you should have already been ready to go and clear the game at that point. So it's kind of like a huge gamble to just rush through everything at like level 21, then be like, oh, there'll be a tile in Topher, it'll be fine, and then have it be like imps.
Yeah, I did start to make the comment before you hit Topher while you and Greg were finishing up like things and doing your grind and all that stuff. Was we still have the tile there that we could check before, in Topher, and we have warp, so we could, if it's good, and could warp out, save, and go back in. And I'm real glad I didn't make that claim, because it would have felt real bad to say that, and then like you guys walked in and like it was Kermaduces, because I'm like, oh, wah.
It wouldn't have been a bad tile. We were actually kind of hoping you guys would find an R-Hydrant tile, because they were falling over to like a single ice too.
Yeah, I saw that on the Bridge of Destiny up there in the sky. I was really kind of hoping like I get more than one encounter up there, given like, that one ice 2 killed them all. But yeah, it just wasn't meant to be. So I mean, it worked out. 600 something HP zombie dragons are just perfect.
Just what you want to see to make your day.
So yeah, Greggly is here, about to go take on his Chaos, which you made absolute short work of.
Not without some sweating bullets when that zap went out.
He did manage to take out both your black mages, and we were just like, no!
I mean, I was worried it was going to hit my poor little 32 black belt, but luckily it didn't, so.
Couple and just 2 charges counting that white shirt. Gonna get already Chaos is already missing. Temper and a fast. All of his buffs are out for the first round. Gonna triple temper and a paunch. 1, 2, paunch. 12 hits for 565, already starting to crank out that damage. There's that zap. But it doesn't take out the black belt, and he is fine. I mean, he does have 3 ribbons, so yeah. Fire 2, chip damage, more tempering, another big paunch. 12 hits for 1889.
Big punch.
And another temper, just cause. 15:27 to follow it up. And with an official race time GG time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, 20 seconds, Greggly has also finished his run through this Temple of Fiends, and we will make sure that he gets himself an invite in for an interview.
GG, Greggly. Also, I'm not gonna lie, giving race times right now on the race time GG site is like the official race time, the race time GG time, and then the GG afterwards. It's gonna be a lot of fun announcing these all week.
You know, as we get used to it, we'll figure out a better way to do our speech. We're just so used to doing our other thing, you know? The official FFR bot time.
And it won't be super early in the morning, hopefully.
Yeah.
Words will be
This
easier.
worked out better.
It'll be fine.
It'll be just fine.
Fine. Goodness.
Just waiting on Greggly to come in. Ael, any other thing that came to you about that race? Anything that you want to talk about?
I mean, I like the fact that drafting for these flags are optional because it really puts you on even footing with your runner. Because if you say get cheeky and you're like, I'm going to do like say the party we ran today, the black belt, red, black mage. You walk into that level 1 red or white magic shop, you see life locked, or you see cure 4 locked until promotion. You're just like, oh man. So you've got to either decide to re-roll or just push on through and hope you find something that replaces it. And then if you, your runner goes black belt rainbow, they get it right off the bat. Don't have to worry about it. So it's nice that we can do drafting and kind of just make sure everyone's, they're not like, we like to say they don't lose a character select. So
yeah, like the tiles may not have worked in y'all's favor for this race, but the magic sure did.
And we are joined in the voice chat by GregglyPuff. GG's, Greggly, for finishing that one out.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. No, that was fine. That was all right. It was okay.
I mean, I know, disappointing to lose your first match there, especially when you're the opening of match of SpeedGaming Live. But you did better than I would have in these flags, and I think it all came down to you for just the way that you routed it.
Yeah, I knew it. I felt like I knew it the second I got the floater. I was like, man, I am so behind. Like, just everything was not going right for me. And then walking all the way around, turning to with the key just to get the bottle. All the way back around to my ship.
Not gonna lie, that made me real thankful we have webcams on for this tournament. Because the way you felt about that was written all over your face.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
But, and I don't know if this is even the slightest bit of a consolation prize, but your walk around the entire inner sea, we have given a name.
The GregglyPuff historical tour.
From now on, anytime anybody does it, it's the GregglyPuff historical tour.
It's all good. It's all about the entertainment, man. What can I say?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I overheard Ael a little bit talking about like the draft, and that would have been a tough seat to, like, what would have been a better party to bring along, because I feel like with the 3 nukes, that's like fantastic, but we were kind of locked out of life and cure 4 at first, but then you got life 2, so it kind of worked out okay.
Gear-wise?
But then gear-wise,
we saw 2 different katana +5s. I mean, you found all 3 ribbons, and there was ice armor +4. So if you'd had a thief, ninja could have been acceptable.
Oh, for sure. Because I think Tail was somewhere pretty, like, I found. Oh, wait, Tail
early.
Was Titans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would have been a pretty good thief run, because it seemed like Topher was a whole lot of nothing except for that Zap Chaos. But yeah, dud item for the win. How are you gonna hate on dud items when you can get a ribbon? Is all I'm saying. Can't hate dud items when they give you a ribbon +5.
Right, not to mention, like, not only were they, like, really pretty hair and, like, awesome hair accessories today, but you found 3 of them. So,
That's 2 more than I got. So yeah.
Like Greg was checking like boxes, and you were just like, "Oh, Greg found a ribbon here," and then like a couple minutes later, you just run right past it. Oh, Greg found a ribbon here. Aelmarkin just runs right past.
Yeah, there was a ribbon in Armory, and there was a ribbon some other fruit check.
Ice. I think it was an ice.
Was it? Oh, yes. It was right past that dumb tile. I was like, oh, this is awful. And then checked the box and was like, oh, ribbon number 3. Look at that. And then the only other tile I saw, speaking of something that Aelmarkin had asked, is I saw, the Whiz Vamps and Zombie Ds that were on the eye tile, and they were scary. They ambushed me right away.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no to that.
Yeah, I saw that one too, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I took a couple Cerberus battles over on the mage tile just because I had like no levels. That's the problem with getting like a long run right off the hard reset is you don't get any levels. But just like you, I ground Zombie Ds. To correct Danny on the green Ds, they ambushed every time. So that's what was scary about them. Yeah. Not only did they have upwards of like 600 or 700 HP, but they ambushed me every time I took them. So I was like, no.
Yeah, that was a little scary. But
there was a couple of times you took that fight and they just started hitting the black mage. I'm like, wrong one! You're hitting the wrong one!
Yeah, stop hitting me for 150 damage each time.
Right, it's like, that's the one that needs the levels. Leave that one alone.
Oh, man. I'm sure SG needs their channel back for whenever the next race is, so
yeah, a little bit of time.
Oh, we do? Okay, you guys got other stuff to ask me? I'm feeling
Greg is feeling feisty this morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say Greg's feeling a little froggy right now.
yeah, man, running on that 5 hours of sleep and a thing of coffee.
But since you did mention it,
I'm a little jealous of your 5 hours of sleep, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since you did mention it, we will have the Mega Man X runners coming in at 10. So I'm sure we'll start seeing them start to file in soon, so they can take over the channel from us. But until we do, Danny, I think you had a question there.
I did.
Sorry, I thought I was cutting back to you. I wanted to make sure.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
You were trying to say something. Okay, fine.
I might have been. And you know what? We'll just chalk it up to the time. Words were hard this morning. Names are hard this morning.
Always.
Remembering anything is hard this morning.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We'll just channel fellow community member Caleb, and we'll just blame it on the fact that it's what was it during the spring tournament? We had a couple of early morning races, and I want to get this right. What was it when we have them early in the morning? It's just like FFR in the morning.
FFR in the morning.
That's just what we're blaming everything on today. It's FFR in the morning's fault.
Gotta get your Troy and Abed vibes going. Yeah. Yep.
Best song I've heard today.
Oh yeah.
Aw. Well, here's hoping you've got better music on a playlist somewhere, because if that's the best song you've heard all morning,
that's the extent of the singing we're doing right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't listened to anything, so that's
well, that compliment was short-lived.
You're listening to the smooth sounds of Final Fantasy Randomizer here on SpeedGaming Live. So we do have
got the radio voice and a jingle. We are set.
Hell yeah! Every once in a while. So we do have more Final Fantasy Randomizer coming up later on today. I mean, there are a number of races that we are going to be running, not all of which will be restreamed immediately, although I'm sure we'll see plenty of them pop up throughout the schedule. But the next one is, what is it? Sir Lancelot versus Fright at 9:15?
Yeah, at 9:15 tonight, we have another FFR race. With Jet and Dr. Funkin on comms. So anybody who's heard those guys on comms knows how good they are. And if you haven't, tune in because they're pretty great.
They'll be roll rested as opposed to us.
Right? We hope. Although I might be tracking that one, so I apologize for all the things that get missed because I am half asleep.
Oh. So good. So good. So yeah, the next game that's coming up is Mega Man X. That's going to be, oh wow, that's a name. Mivu 24, and I hope I pronounced that right, and I'm sorry if I did. Versus GameStar 21. No, actually, no, I think that might be the bot. So Mivu 24 versus someone. Well, they'll intro them properly when they get here. I might stick around just to watch a bit of that. I love watching Mega Man X. It's my favorite of the SNES Mega Man games, honestly. So stick around for that. Greggly, Ale, whoever wants to go first. You guys got any final thoughts first before we are kind and finally let SpeedGaming have their channel back after we've been babbling for who knows how long?
Ale, you won it. You talk about it. You give them some final thoughts, man.
I mean, I just want to thank SpeedGaming for having us. You know, the randomizer as a whole is one of the big tourneys for the marathon. I think that's just fantastic. I feel like we don't get as much love as some of the bigger ones, like Link to the Past, but you know, we've got our niche, and you know, it's a lot of fun to run it, and we're really friendly to new runners. If you guys want to check us out, hop on over. Danny's got the link to the Discord going up in chat. And I mean, aside from that, there's any number of ways to run the game, and you saw just one of them today. And come check us out, have fun with us.
Yeah, I want to thank my obviously the person I raced against today, Aelmarkin. He was on my team, Quake and Break from Fall League. A good friend of mine. You know, awesome competitor. Could have been happier running against anybody else. GG on your first win. Hopefully you get to go 3-0 and you can just, you know, walk right into the brackets. You know, I got a couple more games to try to win to stay in the brackets, but I got another race coming up at 1 and we'll see how it goes. Of course, SpeedGaming for having this. It's really awesome to have us on the main tournament, and a big old thank you to all the people that donated to help us be here where we are right now in the main tournament.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, that's huge. Without those donations, obviously we wouldn't be here on the main stage. So that's fantastic. You know, big shout out to everybody who was in chat watching the race here at 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. GG's to Danny and Dark Moon, of course, for doing the comms, and of course Dangwoo for doing the tracking. And geez, it's going to be a lot of stuff happening on SG 1-2 for the next 8 days. So make sure you just keep it tuned in. Just keep it tuned in, and you'll see all the awesome randomizers going. But
It'll be crazy fun.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm good. I'm excited. Stick around for the Mega Man X.
Danny, final thoughts?
Honestly, it's just echoing a lot of what, you know, Greg and Ale have already said. Thanks to everyone who got up and watched this morning and hung out with us in chat. You guys made it fun. GG's to Ale and to Greg. Both of you guys, you put on a great race. I think it was a great way having you guys, not only as the first FFR race of the tournament, just as the first race of the tournament all together. You both did a great job this morning, and what they didn't mention is they just a little bit, their team won the our fall league tournament last night. So champs last night, opponents this morning, and I think they both did great. But GG to Ale on his win. Good luck to both of you moving forward. SG, big thank you for not only always having us, but especially having us as part of your tournament, and for letting us be the first race of SG Live this year. That it's a big makes me smile real big. You guys are great. We love doing races here. You guys are always great to us. So appreciate it. Like Greg said, thank you to everyone who donated and made it possible for us to be one of the big 3 tournaments this year. You have everyone in the FFR community. You have our appreciation. And Dangwoo, the woo to my wheels. Appreciate you getting up this morning and clicking all the buttons, but not the wrong buttons. So we're still alive and we appreciate it. And Dark Moon for doing comms with me this morning. Comms with you is always really fun. So it was a lot of fun doing comms with you this morning. Definitely made it easy to stay awake. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Everybody, if you want, join our Discord. We love having new people. More FFR coming this week. I'm going to give a little quick shout out to our Duckling boot camp to start soon, with the Duck Derby coming up for all the new players who want to get involved. And with that, I'm going to shut up and let Darkmoon close us out. So everybody can get ready for the next race, and I can try to get in a 30-minute nap before I have to get ready and leave. So
So yes, I want to thank everyone for watching this special presentation of Final Fantasy Randomizer. We are the opening act for Speed Gaming Live 2020, and there's going to be plenty more coming up, not only today, but for the rest of the week, leading all the way through to the finales on, I believe, the 15th of November. So keep watching. Just, don't get any sleep. Just watch for the next 8, 9, however many days that is. I am DarkMoonEX, joined in the booth by Danny3883. Make sure you follow our runners, GregglyPuff and Aelmarkin. Links to them are in the chat. And if you are interested in Final Fantasy Randomizer, please go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can find links to our Discord, our development Discord, and of course play the randomizer right there while you're on the website. It is phenomenal, and we hope you guys have a good time with all of that. So, until apparently later today, when Final Fantasy Randomizer is back on the main stage, we will see you. Good morning, good luck to all the runners coming up, and we are going to let Speed Gaming have their room back. So for our tracker, Dangwoo, feel free to hit the button.